Welcome into this week's edition of On the Spot. I'm Tony Mulvey, joined by Thomas Wasson. Thomas, did you participate in any Black Friday or Cyber Monday shopping?
I did.
All right, let me break in.
Both, but I noticed that Friday was different than Monday. There were a few deals mixed up, but you had to pay attention because they hide the deals and they'll discount them, so there was a little bit of gamemanship.
There is, and were you in person or did you do it online?
Totally online. I didn't even feel like going out. I didn't want to deal with it.
So you were one of the folks that online shopping really ruled the weekend. So we'll pull up a chart here. We got it from the National Retail Federation talking about the number of shoppers that shopped in-store versus online. There's only one day in the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, right? That major retail, only one day where the number of shoppers in-store outpaced the number of shoppers online. And that was Saturday, which is interesting because typically you would think Black Friday is that big retail holiday, very in-store. Reality, Black Friday shopping online, or the number of shoppers online was dramatically larger. I mean, we're talking, what, 14 million, 16 million, 14 million, roughly, more shoppers online. Now, this number, you could shop online and in the store and basically get double counted. So don't look at it, don't sum them across, but just look at the difference in the two. And it just kind of shows that online shopping really right now is kind of dominant, or was dominant during the weekend.
Yeah, and I think especially one of the interesting things is questions to ask, did we see more specific in-store deals? Is this a situation where inventory destocking? Part of me wonders why maybe these numbers will be different if the fact that there's goods still in the warehouse, I need to get rid of that. I really don't need you to show up in the store for this.
Yeah, I think one, this is a positive for the parcel carriers, right? Your UPS, FedEx, USPS, because it means more things. And well, I say that, you did have pickup in store that was relatively strong too. Like I alluded to it on With Sonar, talking with Luke Falaska yesterday afternoon. In my experience on Black Friday, the longest line I saw was the store pickup at Best Buy. Like it was by far longer than the checkout line was buying in store. So I think that's interesting. But I think what's interesting is you look at Adobe Analytics put out their Black Friday report and Cyber Monday. You look at the spending on Cyber Monday was up like 9% year over year online. So I think that's, you look at the growth in the number of online shoppers. I think the other thing to pay attention to is this buy online or buy now, pay later was up like 42%.
Yep.
Guess what? That is offered online. You're not going to likely find that on an in-store purchase, right? So you're seeing consumers kind of go that route. I mean, it was almost $1 billion in that buy online, buy now, pay later spending. I think what's interesting is we'll move here to Bank of America's credit card spending report, which they released a special just this morning. Total card spending year over year for Black Friday, and then the whole week ending with Black Friday, or the week ending after Black Friday. You saw a 2.3% increase in total card spending. It's pretty solid. You can see the skews that COVID created, right?
Stimmy money.
Yeah, I mean, you see Black Friday spending in 2020 down, following year where we had money influxed into the spending, stores reopen, things like that, you see that increase. But you're seeing a little stair step from the previous year, which is a good thing, but you have to remember, these aren't baked in for inflation. Inflation has come down. We can talk about that off the 12-month rolling totals. Come down, right? It's not as high as it was. But you haven't had deflation necessarily, right? You haven't seen prices decrease. Now, you did see deals amongst TVs and the like, and pretty solid deals, and that's where spending happened. But I mean, overall, you look at 2.3% on Black Friday spending increase, 1.7% year over year. relatively moderate numbers in terms of overall card spending that Bank of America is reporting.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things is look at the inflation impact. The rate of inflation is lower. The lingering inflation at the comps is higher. So we are, that's a good sign to see. We are seeing an increase, but at the same time, there are going to be folks who are going to question that and say, well, was it really that good? Because if we look at the inflationary impact, I think one interesting thing is the Amazon effect as well and the e-commerce boom. All the stuff I bought on Cyber Monday, it's arriving on Saturday. Just to give you an idea, Amazon's now giving me UPS ground rates because they're so overwhelmed, and we're seeing that shift.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting things, and you kind of see it starting, is this, everything was going into this like regional model. Look at where outbound volumes, so this chart is actually last Wednesday's month over month changes. So we went back, we took the holiday out, because if you looked at it right now, it'd be skewed. Went back, pulled it up for last Wednesday. You see increases in Ontario, Dallas, Atlanta, Harrisburg, Joliet. All these regional hubs
DC
are where the volume increases have happened over the past month. I don't think it's a surprise. I think it's just interesting when you look at it, like these are where freight is moving the most. And I think that's where, if you were a carrier, that's where you would want to focus, is to grow volumes are in these larger markets, because that's where the outbound volumes are. They're not going to be maybe 800-mile runs, but you're going to be moving in, especially in the Midwest, these more regional runs.
Because this is the peak season. If shipping peak season, we would see SeaTac, we would see Oakland, we would see Cali and the Inland Empire. This has matriculated out into these DC hubs to be for most of the holiday, Thanksgiving, as well as Christmas. This is when folks don't understand is that the supply chain, this map greatly illustrates the thing of why does trucking get busy? It's because now all the DCs are full. Now we're doing store outbound. Now we're doing replenishment. You're completely correct. One area that did surprise me, this spot here in the Gulf Coast, typically it's a real pain in the neck, but if there's money there, it's worth a shot.
Absolutely. Well, Thomas, thank you so much for joining me on this week's edition of On the Spot. Right now, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more Freight Waves Now.